We live, fellas.
What's up, WTF family? How y'all feeling today? Another Wednesday. We got Coach Good. Is that how you pronounce your name?
Yep, it's like dude, but with a G. What's
Yeah,
happening?
okay. I thought it was.
Yeah,
Okay. My guy Kevin Good. What's going on, Kevin? How you doing today?
man, blessed by the best. Can't complain at all. Life is great. So a bunch of wins. Bunch of
Absolutely,
wins.
absolutely. Yeah, man. So like you just became just to kind of while Coach E is getting his camera and everything ready. So Kevin, like you recently just took on a an opportunity to mentor in a different capacity. We want to tell the community about that. I know we really don't consider it mentorship. Some people call it coaching, but it's kind of both. So let
Yeah,
the people know.
I would love to. So I recently just took a job coaching fifth and sixth grade basketball. So can't even call it a job, but yeah, I'm helping out, I guess, mentoring, coaching, whatever you want to call it. But I get to instill some great values into our young men and also help them learn the game of basketball. So
Nice, nice. So like what is it that like made you want to take that route? Were you ever a hooper? Did you ever play basketball like competitively?
yeah, I've always played basketball growing up. For fun, in basketball leagues, from youth leagues to I played through high school. Um, I could have went to maybe college for basketball, but I had a height advantage, disadvantage, I would
Okay.
say. I'm not super tall, so I'm like, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
But I always play sports, and it always just came natural, just understanding the game, why you
Mhm.
do things at certain times, and I was under some good mentorship through youth all the way through high school. I had a coach who coached me who won over 1,000 games, and he's in the Hall of Fame back where I'm from. And I've always been around the game,
Mhm.
so man,
Yeah,
why
so
not share what I know?
no, and that's key. Like something that you said is you said it came naturally to you, and I think that's one thing that I want to highlight about you, and also Deontay. But since you're on the call, like more so you is that you are a natural teacher. Like you teach at a junior high school. You teach young people, and that's admirable, man. Because we all know the story of like the horror stories that we hear from uh, the new generation of kids these days, and I've heard many things from various teachers from all over the internet about how kids are disrespectful and teachers don't get paid enough and it's not worth it. But I love the fact that you are leaning into your like passion and leaning into your gift and even really taking it a step further and really going all in and being a coach in sport, which is something that many young kids really need to have that social interaction to build that confidence. And speaking of confidence, like can you speak briefly or however long you want to speak on about the situation that you brought up previously before this live about the
Yeah.
young kid and the confidence?
Yeah. So I had 2 days to evaluate like almost 50 kids. And to me, it wasn't enough time. I got to evaluate fifth grade one day, finished up picking that roster, and then picked the sixth grade roster. I have another coach who coached with me. But with that, it was one kid in particularly, a sixth grader, tall, lanky kid. And, as every kid was coming through the door, I just congratulated them, like, "Hey, good job, congratulations, you made the cuts," um, and smiled while I done it. And it was one kid was like, "Tuh, wow, I made the team. I couldn't believe it." And right there, I knew I was thankful that you know all praise go to God, but I was thankful that I was able to help with that selection. But more so, I was happy that I congratulated him on making the team.
Hmm.
And I just want to say, like, him being surprised or shocked that he made it. Like that was me understanding then, like he don't even know the potential he has.
Mm.
So I mean,
So that said, like what did you see in him that he may not have seen in himself? Because obviously, kids are young, they're still trying to figure out this whole life thing. Like we all are, right? But especially at that age, 10, 11, 12, they're just really just getting a grip on like this social thing. So and kids and people in general tend to just mimic their environment, but more so kids. So can you kind of expand on what you may have seen in him that he didn't see in himself, and kind of talk about that some more?
so he's actually a fifth grader, and he's one of the tallest kids. He could somewhat, he was, kind of clumsy, so I could tell he's growing into his body. He don't
Mhm.
really know how to control his body. He could somewhat kind of catch. He ain't the strongest kid, but he could catch a ball. He could throw the ball. He could somewhat, do a layup and shoot the ball. So I'm like, okay, cool. He has potential. I
Yeah.
know if he's 6'2" in the fifth grade,
Hold
he's
on,
gonna
hold on.
be,
He's 6'2" now? Is that what you're?
he's probably pushing 6 foot
Oh
easily.
wow. Okay. Wow.
So I'm like, okay, cool. You're 6 foot now. And I talked to him yesterday. I'm like, man, don't be intimidated. Don't be shy. Like, just go. If you mess up, slow down, keep going. Cause I'm like, man, you're about 6 foot, so you're gonna keep growing. He was like, yeah. So like goofy kid,
Yeah.
you always seen the goofy kid trying to play a sport and falling everywhere. That's
Mhm.
kind of him if you can imagine a goofy kid.
Yeah.
And right then and there, I knew like even growing up, a coach would take a 6 foot player over a 5 foot player because you can coach and teach height a lot of times. And this is just the perfect case. Like, man, if this guy get down how to rebound, do a jump hook, pass the ball, he'd be a good basketball player.
Hmm. Yeah, and some things. Well, one word that you said was somewhat, and y'all, I'm asking these questions just so the audience, can see the correlation between the questions that I'm asking and the similarities in your child or your teen. Like, is your teen somewhat good in certain areas? Does your teen have the potential to be good? Does your team have the confidence to at least even put themselves out there to try something that they're interested in, like this young man did with the basketball trials, and he surprised his own self. He exceeded his own expectations. That could be your child. Your child just may need that push, and that's why we are here at the WTF Mentoring Academy. That's What's the Formula Mentoring Academy, where we teach young adults anywhere from ages 12 to 19, and we'll even look at some outlying cases if the need does call for it. But I'm just saying all this to say that not every child is going to be where we want them to be. That's why we have adults who have had the life experience and that can pass down that experience the same way that Coach Good is passing down his experience in basketball and in life down to his players. And just kind of going back to what you were saying as far as the somewhat, like we here at the WTF Academy, we're not looking for the one mentee who has the total package. If everybody who came into the WTF Academy had everything that we were looking for at the end of the program, then we wouldn't even have a program. The whole point of the WTF Mentoring Academy is to teach young adults the formula to their own personal definition of success in life. So they can have somewhat this and somewhat that. That's fine. We want that. We love the projects. We want to be able to see the progression, to see your child, your cousin, your aunt, excuse me, your nephew, whoever it is, come through the program and grow and go from a fixed mindset to having their faith and their limiting beliefs challenged into having a growth mindset, which is a mindset that they think that they can learn and grow and become anything that they truly put their mind and effort to. So that's a great point that that Kevin just made. Hey, everybody doesn't need to be where they're going to be in order to be successful. That's why we have mentors and coaches. So
And guess what? You know what I heard is that player is coachable. Am I echoing?
Absolutely.
no, you're fine. You're good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the thing. Are you coachable? Is your team coachable? 9 times out of 10, they are. It's just a matter of building up their confidence. That's one of the main points that we have with getting mentees is that are you coachable? Because you cannot come into the basketball game and tell Coach Good, this is what we gonna do.
Yeah.
Like, and a lot of them that think they can play real good will try to come and do that compared to the gangly one that you spoke about, who was just happy to make the team. This kid could go on to be in the NBA just because of this one opportunity that you gave him, and he was so shocked. So I think that's great. But even as adults, we have to be coachable. Unless you don't want nothing else out of life, then you don't need to be coachable. You can just be happy with where you at, and we wish you well. But if you want to move up in the world, you want some major changes, you have to take massive action. And one of them is allowing yourself to be coachable, because we all know some things about some things. Like we have knowledge. But if you truly want something different or something enhanced, it requires coaching. I always talk about Jordan, even Shaq and Kobe. You can go down the line. Even LeBron. Until they got with the right coaches, they didn't win nothing. They looked good, but what did Jordan win without Phil? What did Kobe win without Phil? What did it take for LeBron to win his first ring? It required Pat Riley. Like, it's these coaches, people are like, oh, I don't need a coach, it's overrated. Listen, you all, if you truly, because again, we're talking about the greatest players ever. I'm talking about 5 of the greatest ever. All needed a coach, winning scoring titles, winning MVPs, getting swept out the playoffs, getting put in. And they got that right coach, and then the rest is history. You know how many rings we talking about with Shaq, Kobe, LeBron, and Mike. I can't even, how many is that? 4, 6, 5, 3. I think that's 18 championships just between 4 people. But they didn't get any of them until they got the right coach. You cannot just do this on your skill set. You can't just do it on your drive. Your work ethic isn't enough. You need some real world coaches to help you along that way. And once we humble ourselves, because that's all it is ego, especially with young men. You know that. Both of you guys know that when young men, it's ego. Can't nobody tell me nothing. I know what to do. All I need is me and God. And how many have crashed and burned with that thought? But I apologize for my camera not, man, this is irking my life. But we're going to practice good EI and move forward and not be upset that I can't show my camera.
Man, the most important thing is that the world can still hear your words and hear the wisdom that you have to impart. That's the main thing. We don't need to see a big egghead, man.
Hey, that's true. That's true. We done heard it. Yeah, we done seen enough of the Fat Joe forehead. No, fellas, I love that Coach Good and Coach Dmitri. Like, that's everywhere we go, we're coaching. Anytime we get around, and when you had mentioned, we go from 12 to 19, and there might be some outliers which is true. We do have a focus, but we also have a purpose. And our purpose is to impact anybody that we come in contact with. I wouldn't care if you was 90 years old, you're going to be impacted by any of us if you have a conversation. Whether we coach you or not, that's a whole other story. But you will receive some wisdom and some gems if you get in touch with anybody that's part of the WTF, because we lead with purpose. And it's not a secret. It's not something that we're trying to do on the side and, you know, we're a totally different person. No. This is what you get every day. And this is what you get from us every time we open our mouths. So I love the coaching staff and everybody that's supportive out there. Shout out to Chris Nation, Antonia. You all are always supporting us. We got a few more that I'm not seeing their names because they didn't comment. But I see we got a few numbers up. And I didn't want to hijack Dmitri if you want to keep going. I had TMA to talk about. But
nah, man, go do your thing, man. I'll jump in. Me and Kevin had the first part. If you have something else, go ahead, do your thing.
Oh yeah, and here's something that we focus on with the young people. You all is goal setting, and it's all throughout our curriculum. And the adults need to focus on goal setting. Like if you don't know your goals and your goals are not near you, then something's wrong. Like we can't just say, I'm gonna work my job and hope that things get better elsewhere. It doesn't make sense. You have to have a goal. Remember, you can have the greatest marksman in the world. If you blindfold him and spin him around, he's never going to hit the target. Why? Because he doesn't see it. And in order to see the target, you have to set up your goals. You have to map out your goals. You have to work your goals. How do you work your goals? Once you know what you want, because that's your goal, what you want, then you create a plan. It requires taking massive action, you all. You just can't write your goals in your journal, close it up, and say, I'm going to wait a year and see if I hit them. It don't even make sense. And a lot of us, if we're honest, we wrote those goals. If we wrote them, a lot of us don't even write them. And even if we wrote them, a lot of us got lousy goals. I hate to say it, but our goals are lousy. You know, you ask someone, what's your goal? To be able to pay my bills. Like, that's a lousy goal. Yeah, we all want to be able to pay our bills, but that can't just be the goal. It is a goal, but it's a lousy one. It's just and I've heard other people, I ask them, you know, what's your goal? I want to be successful. You already are. You made it through the night, you alive. What does success look like? I want to be rich. Go down the same thing to Paul. They think everybody that comes down there is rich compared to them. So you rich now. Or I want peace. Ooh, you know how I feel about that peace. Oh, that's my goal in life is peace. And you find yourself resting in it. What better peace than the rest in peace? You dead now. That's what you asked for.
Wow.
But these lousy goals, you all, we have to get past that. There's a method. We have a 5-step process to help everyone with creating their goals within the curriculum. And there's a lot of different processes out there. You can look it up, check with ChatGPT. Every goal requires a plan of actions. And that is not a hope. Come on, man, don't think Gregory had about this hope. He got hope your bills get paid and see what happens. You got to take action. You can't, don't nothing happen behind hope. Hope requires action. You can wish, I hope this happens, I hope that happens, and don't do nothing. You might even get lucky. I hope I win the lottery. As soon as you win the lottery, you blow the bag. You blow it because you're not even built to handle $10 million. Yeah, we say if I had $10 million, I wouldn't work another day in my life. It ain't nobody that made $10 million that ever said that. They work more. They take more actions. Because why? They're not greedy. Some of them are. We're not talking about them. We're talking about the people. What could you do with $100 million? I know it's so many of these teenagers I can help if I had that type of money. So don't think, oh, if you're rich, you're a bad person. You're rich. No. What was his name? Who did the steel?
The who?
The steel industry. Who built that?
I'm not sure if it was Carnegie or Rockefeller or one of those guys. I don't know.
It was one of them. But I just heard this the other day. Man, it's driving me crazy. I think it's Carnegie. But he when he passed, they looked in his desk and they found a goal he had written when he was like 22, before he got all his riches. That goal said, for the first 25 years of my life, I want to make as much money as I possibly can. And for the last 25 years of my life, I want to give away all that money. Now, I may be butchering up the quote, but when he died, and if you all know who Carnegie is, trust me, he built the steel industry. Rockefeller was nothing compared to what Carnegie did. Carnegie took it to a whole new level. But the point I'm making is, even he had a goal. So even if your goal is to build up a lot of money, that's great. And you give to other people. Like Coach, if you had $10 million, would you just buy everything you ever wanted in life and not help anybody?
Nope. Can't wait till I get it, so I can help 100 million people, 1 billion people.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You all, so we look at money as a bad thing, as an evil thing, and it's not unless you want it to be evil. You can use a hammer to build a house, and you can use a hammer to crack somebody's skull. That doesn't mean that the hammer is evil. Now, they say, well, in the Bible, it says money is the root of all evil. No, it doesn't. It says the love of money is the root of all evil. I'm not saying that you should fall in love with money, but what I'm saying is you need to have a cozy relationship with it. And guess what? Everybody that says, and I know I'm going to offend some people with this, especially in the replay, anybody that tells you they don't care about money, they broke. Because rich people care about money. Wealthy people care about money. They know it's that that can allow them to help so many people. They talk about Bill Gates and how Bill Gates is one of the most charitable people on earth. So we think all the rich keep getting richer, the poor keep getting poorer. Take massive action, and you may not even desire a lot of money. You may only want 100,000 a year. Whatever success looks like, it requires massive action. It requires massive action. Whatever, if your goals are lousy goals, change them. Look at them. Pull them, knock dust off the goal you created 2 years ago. And see, and here's the beauty of a goal. When you make the list, you get to check your list off. So think how sweet that is. You done made a list of goals. You list of things that you want, things you want to achieve, all these goals. And what's the point of a list? It's just a list. Oh, I get to sit back and check it off. I'm like, that one. I got that one. And when you check off them good ones, you need to celebrate, you all. Celebrate your success. We talked about this the other day. Men are always talking, don't be too boastful. Don't be too proud of what you do. I debunk that. You should be proud because when you're doing what you're doing to help other people, why would you not be proud of that? Even if that means, okay, the CEO of the United States makes his $1 million a year. You think he feel bad about it? No, because he knows how many people he's helping. So, I'm all over the place because I can't see myself speaking, and I like to look at myself. But here, at the end of the day, and I'm gonna wrap it up with this, you all, and hand it over. Look at your goals. If you haven't done your goals, do them. If you need help with your goals, let us know. We have a formula for that. Set your goals, your financial goals, your knowledge goals, your health goals. You can't keep reading a book about going to work out if you ain't gonna start working out. It ain't gonna work. You can't keep saying affirmations and you're not taking the action. You gotta, I believe in affirmations. I believe in reading up on fitness. I believe in getting that type of knowledge if it's applicable. But that knowledge means nothing until you take the action, you all. So again, TMA, not TMI, TMA. Take massive action.
Absolutely.
You know, I like the acronyms, Coach Dmitri.
Absolutely. Hey, man, that's how we learn the best, man. We learn from things that are catchy and they're sticky. So that's perfect. I love it. And just something for everybody to take with them once this call is over with. I know Coach E spoke beautifully about goals. Please understand that money, currency, cash, whatever you want to call it, it is only a byproduct of the amount of people that you can help and the amount of value that you bring to the marketplace. So when you say that you want to have X amount of dollars, you have to understand that the money itself is not a goal. Money is a byproduct of achieving your goal. And like, you're not going to get the money if you don't serve people in some type of way, form, or fashion. So like, you have to have a goal that's of substance if you want to get to the bag. So that's what I would say. And to take it that next step further, to be able to hit your goal of substance, that's not just hitting a dollar amount, I would challenge you all to check your values. I know we spoke about this, I believe last week or the week before last, about goals and values. If your goal is to help underprivileged kids in Africa, then your values must be in alignment. Like what you do on a day-by-day basis, how you treat people, the connections that you make, the effort that you put in, the things that you do behind the scenes when people aren't looking, those are your values, you know. So if your values are not in alignment with, or if your goals are not in alignment with your values, or vice versa, then chances are, just being real, you probably won't hit your goal, because you must take those incremental steps to be able to get to that destination that is your goal. And you're not going to get to make the money that you want to make unless you have your values in alignment with your goals, which is going to end up helping you serve people, which is going to end up giving you the income that you desire. So we have to reverse engineer this thing, and money can't be the goal. So I'm just trying to help break it down when you go about your life and you figure out what your goals are, and just always keep that in mind, that money is a byproduct of providing value to the marketplace. Excuse me. So if that's all that we have today, I'm gonna open up the floor if anybody has anything else. But if not, this was a great live, and I'll go ahead and close it out. But anybody else want to chime in?
Oh, cool. You summed it up perfectly.
Cool. All right. Well,
I'm just writing down some better goals.
Right.
And right now,
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what it's all about. And like we have to, I know us as people here in the Western world, I've never lived anywhere else, but I kind of see the different cultures on the internet, and I've been to different a couple of different places, but yeah, but we here in the Western world tend to be more materialistic than we probably should be, and that's why we kind of tend to go towards the quick and easy thing like the lottery. And to your point, most people, if y'all would win that big sum of money, you would probably kill yourself. And I'm not saying
Mhm.
that by on purpose. You would do it because, like you said, you're not ready to handle it, and you would let your vices take over you because you feel like you could, just do it without any consequence because you have that dollar amount. So always keep yourself in check, stay humble, and have some type of purpose in life. And don't just get the money because you don't want to work, all right? Because that's not going to be a fulfilling life anyway. So wake up in the morning with a purpose and chase that purpose with all of your might, because time is limited. And once our time is up, it's not going to matter what's in our bank accounts. It's about the lives that we impacted, and all that good stuff. So that said, if you want your life impacted, if you want your team's life impacted in a positive way, text WTF to the number below to get all of our contact information. This has been another wonderful WTF Live Wednesday here with Coach Goob, Coach E, and myself, Coach Dmitri. And we already know that WTF not only stands for What's the Formula Mentoring Academy, but WTF also stands for our mantra at What's the Formula, which is winning takes focus. And that's what we teach all of our mentees to do, is to focus in on one thing at a time and achieve that so they can win each and every day of their life. So until next Wednesday, we will see y'all soon. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.